Hey, how you doing? It's DTM here, and I wanted to make this video. I was going to say quick, but you never know with me. Anyways, just to say thank you for all your support and love. I think I'm going to interject this video tonight just to say hello and thank you so much. 225,000 subscribers. This is that video. But just a lot of gratitude coming from me to you for just all the cool comments on the videos and your support and everything. It's really cool. I have a lot of great stuff. I've had some amazing experiences, some major revelations, revolutionary insights, putting all this information together. Actually, I've just had time to do a lot of research, and I'm very interested in all the various subjects that are associated with the chronic illnesses that are going on in today's day and age, you know, and I'm just putting all these puzzle pieces together, and it's amazing what we are going to be able to do together through sharing all this information. I just take so much different clinical data and research data, and then I combine that with my own intuition, my own experiences, my own way of seeing how raw is the law of nature. And that's even making more and more sense why it's important to keep your foods as raw, organic as possible. Just all the way from the mouth to the back end, and everything that's associated with the destruction of the foods, the tampering of the foods, the low quality of the foods, the modifying of the foods, the spraying of the foods, and all the different complications that go along with that. So obviously that's education step number one. But now what do you do when you're, 46 years old and you have some kind of cancer in the pancreas or the liver or the kidneys, or you've got some kind of chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia or whatever, all the different various diseases, your hair, your teeth, just eye problems, ear problems, nose problems, throat problems, lung problems, heart problems, kidney problems, liver problems, pancreas, colon, small intestine. Now the new thing is the SIBO, because we're just really, really tripping. And I've got some answers, and I'm feeling fantastic. I've been able to help people around here on the island improve their health. And man, I just got a lot of great stuff in the pipeline. And your love and support means everything. Just like, wow, you really want to hear this? Because sometimes you don't really see people taking it that seriously till the shizzle hits the fizzan. You know what I'm saying? Then it's too late. So don't wait till you're diagnosed with a chronic disease to get out of the crappy relationship, or to quit the shitty job, or to quit the crappy diet and break your addictions to drugs and pharmaceutical drugs and porn and gambling and food and everything else. It's just taking away your real life, the one that makes you want to just go jump in the cold water and pray and be grateful that you don't have all those addictions, that you're free from all that crap, that you don't need to be in a relationship, that you don't need to be chasing after money, that you don't need to be strung out on whatever, food or cheese or grains or meat or food and everything. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of different variations within there, so I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm just saying that there's a way to live on this earth as a living being. And simplicity is a great word to describe it. Maybe a better sound here. I was going to cut the coconuts, but just simplicity and, freedom from all the addictions. And there's various reasons why these addictions have come about. Mankind and his behaviors are basically like addictive behaviors. And that's why I love the spiritual masters so much, who weren't particularly against anything in general, but just would tell you that if you do this, this is what happens. And if you're trying to avoid this, then you make sure you don't want to do this. This may be pleasurable in the short term. You may be conditioned to pizza on Sunday nights with the family, or ice cream every time that you have emotional difficulties, or getting high or getting drunk, or whatever it is. You know, I'm not pointing out any one particular thing, and I'm not criticizing anyone, but you know when you're trapped by those things, especially food. That's like the biggest one. And breaking free from that has huge implications, because what's interesting is a lot of times we'll get addicted to the foods that actually cause us the biggest problems. And they're everywhere. And I'm not judging anyone, because I realize we've been slammed after the war with just processed food and subliminal programming, and then cultural. It's like Christmas and holidays and Thanksgiving, and it's like that's the time of the year of bloating, and like it's upset stomach and like weight gain and everything else, you know. And it's like, I don't even do the holidays. Like, every day's a holiday to me. I'm celebrating life. I'm eating fruits. I'm eating vegetables. I live mostly off juice, mostly off coconut water. The coconut yogurt, as I've developed a relationship with that, you're going to hear that from me, because it does something to my brain, and I've associated so much learning with the gut-brain axis. I thought it was up here for me for all these years, but it was down here. And this, and all the addictions, and all the inflammation, and all the overeating, it's so funny how I've been accused of everything, but it's like, instead of the word calorie restriction, it's more like calorie moderation, because then there's efficiency. Then you don't get overloaded, backed up, and occluded, destroying the efficiency of the glands and organs, and so everything can stay clean. And when you go to bed at night, you're not overloaded, and then the kidneys and the liver and the lungs and the heart and the blood can clean themselves out, and you can wake up in the morning refreshed. But if you're all strung out, then you've got to wake up in the morning and have your whatever it is that your body is addicted to get it stimulated, to get it going, instead of like sunlight and fresh air and your positive thinking. So it's a whole lifestyle of making sure that you're doing what you want to do, being with who you want to be with, following your highest truth, and being honest and true with yourself about what really matters to you, instead of the whole guilt, shame, and grief and unforgiveness and judgment and criticism that just blocks you up and the flow. And we've all learned those habits, and then those frequencies are associated with different types of pathogens being able to explode. So again, we come back to love is the answer, because when there's love in the heart, that just burns up, that just sends the energy through all the nerve meridians, through the lymph meridians, through the blood meridians, and then everything stays. The best way to say it scientifically is that the zeta potential stays high, the blood continues to stay as a solvent and a deliverer and a carrier of nutrients into cells and oxygen, and being able to be so powerful and strong and thin and antioxidized and hydrogenated that it can mitigate all the free radicals and the heavy metals. And a lot of that has to do, again, coming back to my newfound love for the microbiome, the microbiota, the immune system in the GI tract, which is also associated with positive thinking and depression. So inflammation is correlated very distinctly, in my personal experience, as I've gone and just totally alkalinized and totally saturated with the coconut yogurt, as it goes in and it just saturates the small and large intestine, and those powerful positive probiotics, meaning pro-life, after a lifetime of antibiotics and stress and way too many gluten grains and inflammatory foods and overeating, that it's taken a while to heal the GI wall that has inflammation. So if you eat those foods that you're allergic to that stimulate you, but then they create inflammation, and that seeps through what are called like the tight junctions, or it just, you have leaky gut, and the larger proteins and fat molecules and carbohydrates can seep their way through cells that should be tight, only allowing micronutrients through the villi into the bloodstream. These actually larger particles are seeping through the inflammation in the GI tract wall, getting into the bloodstream and then crossing the blood-brain barrier, creating inflammation, irritation, agitation, and an inability to sit still and pay attention. There's so many different colorants and all the different additives, and the list goes on of the chemicals that are pretty much saturating everywhere unless you're really, really on point. And I could probably take about the next 60 years and continue to go over where all these chemicals are coming from and how to avoid them. And we will just have to do that. And that's why, look at these coconuts. See how blessed? No genetically modified, totally purified water, totally purified water-soluble saturated fat. This is it for me. And then when you add those probiotics and blend it up and let it culturize, especially if you add the nutrition essentials, which is the life essentials, the vitamin E powder, then that vitamin E feeds the brain, feeds the nerves. The coconut saturates and carries it and allows it to saturate. And then inside the gut is the serotonin and the dopamine and all the neurotransmitters, hormones, steroids that are related to reproductive function, which makes you healthy and happy and keeps you vibrant and alive. And then all the serotonin and the dopamine keeps you balanced and stable. Then you're just on point, relaxed, calm, chill. I was tight. I was wound up. I was tight. I was stressed out. And I had to learn what I had to learn. And now that I know what I know, I am working on just doing what I was just saying with mostly coconut water and green juices and moringa and cucumbers and parsley and cilantro and that kind of thing. Green juices, and then fruit and fruit juices, because I'm really, really clean, so I can handle that. If you're not really clean, you won't be able to handle that. And then like coconut yogurt at night to calm myself down. So right now, pretty much what I did today was just coconut water with moringa and enzymes, and then coconut water with lemon and moringa again. And then down the road, dude was my boy was selling the Tangelo lime coconut water, and then blasted some more enzymes. So just tripping on enzymes, and then got back here and just ripped up the road on my bike, just feeling amazing, just ripping it, because the blood is thin and the enzymes are just keeping my blood just clean, feeding my brain, keeping my blood nice and thin. And all the coconut and the moringa has got the chlorophyll and the minerals and the fatty acids and the amino acids. And so now I'm going to make some yogurt, and then I'll set that in the fridge to keep, because I got to keep up on it, because I like to eat like pretty much a jar a day. That's the food that I eat, is a jar of yogurt. That's what I'm having for dinner tonight. After all this juice, I eat a jar of yogurt. I'm going to do 2 or 3 hours worth of research. I'm going to put another video up. It takes 12 hours to put up a video. And I have an amazing life, and I'm super blessed. And I know that if one is blessed and shares that blessing, that's all that I hope for, is that I can get up here and rip away on some cool information, basically telling you that I appreciate you so much, because I just feel so blessed to have an amazing, hey, just a small little audience. I know people think 225,000 is a lot, but it really isn't on YouTube. If I had 3-second flash display, ADD, 3-minute videos, just to, you know, clickbait crap, it's not my style. I want you to get the download. I want you to get this information, make the yogurt, drink the juice, go outside, play, go to the river, jump in, go to the ocean, swim, have fun, wear bare feet, get out into the sun. It was an amazing day. Do whatever it is you can do that you pick up from these videos on a good vibe, and just live a good life. Care about those around you, don't you think? Isn't that cool? Kindness, love, service, the cultivation of divine qualities, with numero uno on your mind and in your heart all the time. This is a quick little visit to Earth. can't take any of this stuff seriously. Just love and serve and build your karma. You know what I'm saying? So that you get a nicer seat on the train to heaven. Just do good, be love, go with the light. There's plenty of darkness in all of us. There's the opportunity and the potential for us to go that way, but we can choose the goodness. We can choose the godness. And that's inside of every one of us. And as we burn brighter like the sun, the clouds of doubt, shame, grief, guilt, and fear are burned away. And we see that the sun was shining the whole time, and that's what we always were. And then when we give ourselves permission to say, hey, shine, let it rip, let your heart open, speak your truth, live your art, serve, love, and purify yourself on every level, and God will bless you so much. Because then what happens is all your desires are kind of stripped away, except for the one desire to live according to the will of the one who's the master of the entire universe and keeps the planets perfectly orbiting around each other so that it's not too hot, not too cold, but to support this life that we have. And if you can just have faith in that, that's what faith and that's what thy will be done means, is that it's like kind of like a scientific thing, really. It's like you think you're going to go against the one intelligence that keeps the planet Earth spinning around the sun at the perfect orbit for millions and billions of years to create life as a human being with a huge frontal lobe, smaller teeth, which kind of sucks. But it's cool, you know, everyone's like, oh, cooked food, it makes your teeth small and all that crap. So we got to get on point, get back to nature. Like, so it's like we're going back into like indigenous enlightenment. So we're not going back to being cavemen, but we're going back to harmony with nature so that we can evolve into a higher level of consciousness.